October 30th, 2023. This fine, dark, slightly laced snow morning. And Phoenix Business Exchange welcomes you. And we're going to start off with some words of wisdom. And you know what? Mike, tell us what's happening there in life.
Well, it's the very first snowfall of the season, and I'm looking out of my condo, and it's just looking stunning. I feel like I'm Ralphie from the Christmas story, waking up and taking a look out of the window and seeing it. It's beautiful indeed. I hope that everybody, including Jacqueline, when they saw the first snow, they took a deep breath, lifted their shoulders, right, Jacqueline? So this morning, I want to change it up a little bit and talk a little bit about something that's called express your voice. So basically, the question is, what are you feeling? It is such a simple question to ask and such a hard question to answer. I struggle to answer it, for the truth is, I feel many things. I don't exactly know how to and what to feel. Sometimes I'm excited, I'm anxious, I'm grateful, I'm hopeful, I'm impatient, I'm frustrated, unfulfilled, I'm encouraged, I'm doubtful. My world changes so fast that my answers change literally by the hour. Sound familiar? What are you feeling right now? I bet your responses will be similar to mine. And I also bet that they will change just as fast. And that's why I keep asking the question, both to myself and to you folks, how are you feeling? If you know what others are feeling, that is a very, very, very cool thing, ability to have, because then you can connect with them in the most personal way. Feeling is such a encompassing term. It's much more than the emotional response. It's a belief, especially a vague or irrational one. It's the visceral awareness of one situation. It's the instinctive opinion about something. It's a specific state of being. It is a prevailing spirit of time and place. If you can tap into some person's feelings, you can impact them at a meaningful level. If you don't, you will just bounce off of them. Result, you will reveal your ignorance and insensitivity to what matters most to them. So as we move towards the end of 2013, there are forces shaping of what we feel right now. They could be related to grief of the past, reflection of the present, and purpose of the future grief. We are all mourning the loss of something dear to us. COVID has robbed us of our routines, rhythms, and rituals. It has taken away a sense of safety, shrunk our social circles, minimized our mobility, and complexed our occupations. We're exhausted just from the struggle and anxious about
You look great, buddy.
what is to come next. We're examining the way we live. We are questioning how we make a living. We are making new choices about our future. We are searching for meaning. We are seeking some way to contribute. We are reconnecting with communities. We are speaking about social challenges. We are supporting organizations and demonstrate their commitment to the common good. Both as workers and consumers, we're expecting more from our leaders and the examples that they serve. So in the year 2024, it could be your most productive one of your career if you harness these forces to your will. How? You simply need to express your voice. So how to install your vision and who you want to be, let's say even by the end of this year, December 31st, 20, even actually next year with 2024, and find your identity, your role, your goals. Determine your perception that you want others to have of you is key. Will your vision cultivate the openness to new people, ideas, and possibilities? See the world through fresh eyes, and you will see things hidden from yesterday's perspective. Openness is like a magnet. It attracts knowledge, opportunities, and people to you. See everything and everyone as a source of growth. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. As a champion, don't call people out. Call people to empower them with your commitment to their success. Make it easy for them to say or do things that they would never have done before. So summon your courage to do what has never been done before. And courage simply is the ability to do something that frightens you. It means taking out the blocker, barricade, boogeyman, or bully that stands between you and your vision. It could be an internal doubt that you might need to conquer, or it could be an external obstacle that you need to surmount. Either way, it means coming face to face with your fear. The moment you act, you begin to liberate yourself from your fear. You build momentum and muscle. Begin now. The way to get ready is to do something before you are ready. As people become more fatigued by never-ending pandemic, economic uncertainty, cataclysmic change, and the sheer everyday grind, they crave infusions of hope and inspiration. Be there for them. They want to be renewed and reinvigorated. They need meaningful human interactions. They depend on the precious few who can motivate. That's you. These are the keepers of the flame who burn bright but don't burn out. Keepers are zealous about their mental, physical, emotional, and social and financial well-being. Keepers take care of themselves so that they can take care of others. Become one of them. Fuel your fire so you can fire up stakeholders, whatever it takes: vision, openness, inclusion, courage, energy. Find your own way to express your voice so you can thrive on the next normal and slam dunk 2024 and beyond. Imagine. If you want to rise, do the difficult.
Mike, thank you so much. And now we'll do our quick introductions as to who we are, what we do. And we're going to start off with Eric. Over to you, sir.
Good morning. Eric Sonego of ESPG, which stands for Eric Sonego Professional Group. We're accountants and management consultants. We are located in Canada. We do mostly corporate. We have mostly corporate clients, but between January and May, we have the usual suspects that we do personal taxes for. And the usual suspects tend to be people who have complicated tax returns because they're either self-employed, or they have investments, or they are into cryptocurrency, or they have any of those things that you hear about in the newspaper, of people investing in. They tend to come to accountants to do their taxes. The rest of the time, we do notice to reader or review engagements, and we do that to corporate clients. 613-254-7310. Everything else is in the chat line.
Eric, thank you so much. And over to Alex.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Alex. I'm from Evolta Electric. We are Ottawa's low-carbon electrical contractor with a focus on sustainability. So that means we work on projects that help people reduce their carbon footprint, and we do that through the supply and installation of EV charging solutions, energy storage solutions. We're also involved in building automation, which can help reduce electricity usage. And of course, we do general electrical work as well. So if any of you guys or anybody watching knows of anyone that needs an electrical contractor for commercial, residential, industrial applications in Ottawa, we'd be happy to help. And detail is in the chat. Thank you.
Alex, thank you so much. Greg, over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to keep this brief. I'm just hopefully coming out, but I've had COVID for the last little while. I'm feeling pretty crummy today. Anyway, I just wanted to come in to see you and hear our guest speaker today, my name is Greg Hollander. I'm with Keller Williams, and my work is focused on helping seniors and empty nesters downsize. I do other types of work. Actually, I just sold a commercial property yesterday, so we're able to do these things remotely. I was able to set things up beforehand, and I also have a team of people helping me out, which is something I bring to the table too. Anyway, Greg Hollander with Keller Williams. Thanks.
Greg, thank you so much, and sorry you're feeling under the weather. Carl, over to you, sir.
Bernie, thank you, sir. Carl Richards. Essentially what I do is I help subject matter experts, be they coaches, people who help seniors downsize, accountants, other subject matter experts who feel they don't have the time or the technical skills to be in the podcast space, not only launch their show, but maintain it so they can focus on their business while we help them be seen as the go-to expert. Actually, I had a chance to spend some time with a friend I hadn't seen in well over a year. Runs a camera store in Kingston called Camera Kingston. How ironic. I've been in business over 35 years. I used to invest a lot of money into conventional media, mostly radio and television, doing campaigns, on location work and all that stuff. And I said, how's everything going? Are you still using radio? He says, yeah, not very much these days. So there is this shift from conventional media, which is in that streaming space, into on demand, which is where podcasting is. And if you think it's going away anytime soon, it's not. So find out if it is for you, and better yet, jump into one of my events that's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Carl, thank you so much. Josh, if you're available, and then followed by Shane.
Hey there, it's Josh Lamb from Sterling Grace Technologies. We're your one-stop shop for your IT support and custom software development needs. We are based out of Eastern Ontario with clients going between from Cornwall to Gananoque and then up through Ottawa. And down in the Brockville area. And yeah, so we right now we're in the midst of doing a couple different projects. We're building a new server for a company based out of Manotick. It's basically a high-powered server that allows them to run 4 different individual sub-servers on it. So they've got 4 different Windows computers, one of them running their accounting, one of them running their main customer relationship management software, and then 2 others doing some other custom stuff. And so that's one of the projects we're working on. And another one is we're building a new website, or 2 new websites actually right now. One of them is for a personal counseling service specializing in ADHD and anxiety management techniques. The other one is a home builder. And so we do web related and we do IT support related. And so if you're interested in finding ways to make your technology make you money instead of just costing you money, give us a call. Josh Lamb, Sterling Grace Tech. We are your one-stop shop. Thank you.
Hey, Josh, Shane, if you're available.
Hey guys, it's snowing where you are, snows where we are. So anyways, hopefully everybody's taking care of it. Be careful out there in the first snowfall, especially, wearing those spikes if you got them, just in case it's a little bit more slippery. Be careful. We obviously do slips and falls all the time. So that's something we want to be aware of as well. This week, we're going upstairs to talk with the medical doctors upstairs. They're really excited to see us. I know I've talked about the GLAD program a little bit, that knee mobility, which you need to shovel and stand and walk, especially in these slippery times. You want to have mobility, you want to have movement, especially you can, especially if you have that osteoarthritis building up in the knees and the hips going forward. We're also talking about pelvic floor. Many people don't know what pelvic floor is. It can be external or internal. So basically, our physiotherapist is certified in doing that. So they call it, your pelvic floor is actually the stuff that's, where underneath your glute muscles and that type of thing. Sometimes that can get really restricted. We use that for prenatal, postnatal people as well to help free up core stability, which helps with low back pain and can be groin pain and so on and so forth. So that's something that you're really looking at, having some of that stuff taken care of because you've had, other things done from massage to maybe even chiro or physio that hasn't worked. You might want to try a pelvic floor appointment with our pelvic floor specialist, Neha, which is our physiotherapist. So we'll be talking about that when we go up there, along with laser and our GLAD program. So if any of that interests you, I'd be more than happy to talk further details and get you guys on board with how to correct yourself so you can be better able to be limber and shovel that driveway. Yay! Enjoy the snowfall. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Shane. I'd rather use the laser to get rid of the snow in the driveway. Dwight, over to you, sir.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday and some white stuff on the ground. And I wasn't really looking forward to that, but my wife and we're the founders of Taste Sweet Life, which is a Caribbean-based, plant-based pretty much everyday stuff. We just put a Caribbean flavor to it. Some of our venues, we were able to cater last week's event for Phoenix. Some of the lineups we do provide some jerk barbecue burgers, jerk tofu wraps, vegan lasagna, and one of the newest creation that we just brought to the table is Jamaican based vegan patties. So hopefully at the next event we can bring some of those out, and you'll be showcasing that at our upcoming venues later on in November. So it's Taste Sweet Life, Caribbean-based, plant-based food. Thanks.
Well, thank you so much. Mike, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. According to MTO, Ministry of Transportation, 8 out of 10 accidents today are caused by distracted driving. And the number one cause out of these 8 out of 10 is texting while driving. Morning, Mike from We Care Focus. Just quickly tell you a little bit about my program. First of all, the price, it's $150 flat rate. What do you get from that? If you have a new drive in the family as a parent and a new driver, I do a live session for half an hour with them, talk to them about the philosophy of distracted driving, the essentials that they require, why distracted driving, some really great tips, about a half an hour question period. So that takes about an hour. And then I also go through what's called my We Care Focus reference guide. The reference guide is chock full of ultimate great information from either personal stories that I've gone through, that I've created videos, other really good videos for safety tips, websites, direct websites, like, what to do about cannabis. It goes right to the site, because these websites can be very confusing with the Ontario websites that are out there. So this is a great way to spend 1 hour with your child to ensure their safety when they're driving. And the reference guide is chock, like, again, full stuff, what to do in case of accident and so on. It's everything is in that reference guide. So if you know of a new driver, perfect referral for me. Have them contact me with the parent, and we'll get this done and ensure their safety. Steering you straight.
Mike, thank you so much. Sam.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturris, connectedcars.ca. Where did I put that? I just put that thing and mix up. There we go. There's my contact information. Let's see. Well, first of all, I do dash cameras, as you all know. Also do minor repairs, brake jobs, and oil changes. And, well, Mother Nature gave us a warning this morning. You haven't got those winter tires on. Now's the time to get that booking in, just like Eric said that he get his booking in. You want those winter tires on, just to make sure you don't end up with the background like Mike had on his website there with an accident. So if you don't have your booking, I will do that for you. I can notate your tires on your vehicle and provide a free brake inspection while I do that. If you know someone, or yourself or otherwise, give me a call, let me know. I can get out the oil change and maybe a tire rotation at the same time. Sam Sturris, connectedcars.ca. Today's mobile electronics, about the cost of the vehicle, and lots more.
Sam, thank you so much. A lot of opening lines in that oil and rubber tire thing. I'm going to stop there because I'm going to get in trouble. Jacqueline, over to you. Save me.
No one can save you, just so you know. No one can save you.
Well, thank you.
And so, as I took a beautiful long walk in this snow that we have, and as I'm doing I need to change things like Sam, tires, like Dwight, I need that new recipe. Like Alex, I need to take a look at what's happening with my electronic gizmos here. I am Jacqueline Richards. I am a mortgage specialist, and I'm wearing I went on a cruise, and that's what people are looking for. How do I plan for January 2024? How do I get there? Let me help you with the money. Let's refinance. Let's have a conversation. And maybe it's just taking a long, deep breath, lifting your shoulders, taking them back and dropping them down and thinking, let's talk about it next week, Jacqueline. Let's talk about it next week. Have a fantastic day.
Jacqueline, thank you so much. Susan, can't hide from me.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Bernie. Well, you need to get your clothes clean so you can go out on that walk. We have a fantastic product called Mellow Power. Now, the beauty of Mellow Power is this little pump thing on the top, which dispenses, about a dime size worth of product. So you can get 96 loads out of this one bottle. So we're saving the environment by putting less bottles into the environment. Not only that, but we have no chemicals in our products, no phthalates, no chlorine bleach. So you're not going to have problems with breathing and asthma attacks. Let's clean up the environment, get the chemicals out of there, get rid of the ADHD and all sorts of behavioral problems that our children are experiencing. So Mellow Power comes in 3 or 4 different flavors or even scent-free. Susan Ebbs from Total Renewal, affiliated with melaleuca.com. Thank you.
Susan, thank you so much. A quick back question for Sam. Do you have access to new winter tires?
I don't sell or provide them for people, but I do have contacts that I can provide anyone, places I use myself, so I can provide referrals.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sam. And folks, just posted into the chat the LinkedIn live post. So make sure to put your contact details in that space, because that way you can share that information and your contacts. So my name is Bernie Fransworth, Creative Insight. What do? I do stuff. So some of the stuff is connecting people and business to business, people you don't know, and all of a sudden they're telling me something and I'm going, hey, you got to meet this person, and do that kind of cross connect. That's kind of the space I'm in. I have 2 podcasts that I'm involved with. One that I run is called Knack for Business, and that is where I meet people and then actually really talk about their stuff and share that information. So if you want to know the value of a podcast, that's the space to be in. And Carl has a course coming up, and I believe Carl's even made a special deal for members in Phoenix if you want to know how to spin your own dial. And then there's the Property Wizard, which is the other piece that I'm involved with, and that's commercial real estate. And that is all about how to invest in commercial real estate. And it's meant to give you advice and just keep you on track. The podcast is free to listen to. Sagely Advice. The person that's in there has 36 years of history inside the commercial realty space. World Referral Network. You haven't heard me ever mention that before, have you? So 1,000 people in that space. Get in there, for crying out loud. Make some contacts. If you can't sell a dash cam to someone locally because they're in BC, that's okay. They might have something. See, I'm not picking on you, but just that's the case in point. There might be a resource out there for you. That's how you network. And that, I'm going to stop. I'm going to swing us over to our main act. Tony, launch.
Thank you, Bernie. I very much appreciate that. And here, I'll just put that timer on. Here we go. Okay. Hi, everybody. I wanted to talk today a little bit about reaction. It was interesting. I had a client just last night, and they're going through a 911 in their business. They've, over the last several years, because of COVID and various things that are going on and the taxes that are due and everything, it's at a point where every single day is a 911. And if you've ever tried to make a decision based on your reaction and you're so hyped, it's almost impossible to make a rational decision when you're so stressed and there's fear that you're going to lose your business and so on. I've worked with this person before. I haven't seen them in like 5 years. And they say, Tony, I need you. I got to get my perspective. And it's really great that people, many people that work with me, they understand that it's not always a coach they're looking for in terms of tell me what to do. It's I got to get myself balanced so I can make proper decisions on my own. So it was great that he saw that. So we had a chat last night, and the 1 hour session turned into 2.5 hours, and it ended with a tuning session. And what it ended up, all of that, he says, I still have the same problems. However, I'm going in tomorrow with a new vitality and a new perspective. And that's the point, is learning to curb the reactions that you get with all the things that you do. And we talked about reaction in one of my classes that I did a couple of weeks ago that Bernie or Carl was at. And I want to play you some of that just to give you an idea of what was covered in that class. So hope you like this. Today, we want to talk about the journey of reaction. And one of the things I found is, first of all, the color today is going to be yellow because it has to do with self-control. It's our control center. It's just in our solar plexus, and it is connected to anything that we have control over or have the theory that we have control over it, or other people have control over us. But in this reaction, it has to do with us. Why is it that some things can be said to one person and not have any reaction whatsoever? And the same thing is said to someone else and they go ballistic. And so many people say, well, why is that? Is it something that I said? And the answer is usually, as a pretty much a generic answer, no. It's nothing you said. It's the way they heard it. It's the way that something has sparked a nerve in the past in somebody, and they are reacting to it. I mean, we see this kind of energy from twins where they're born at the same time and they have very similar thoughts. Their appearance looks very similar, but one would be very angry a lot of times and the next twin would be easygoing. We see this a lot. And it's all on how we see the thoughts. I wasn't held enough, or whatever the thoughts that you feel in your perception that something should have happened when you were younger. Because when we're in it, when we're kids, we don't know any better, do we? We just go through life and we feel whatever the life that we're going through, everybody's going through, right? Everybody's going through that. If you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, if you were given things, from a very early age and you got all kinds of love, you would feel everybody's doing that. But that is so further from the truth, because sometimes we'll go through many people's history and we'll find all kinds of events and incidences that had happened in someone's past. That's always disturbing. That's always hurtful. That's very, in the sense that it gets their dander up, right? And in some comments, when people say something, we sort of touch those points. And that's why it hurts, because it's never been addressed. It's never been addressed, and that's where reaction comes from. So it's not so much self-control, we got to hold ourselves back, and it isn't any of that. And at the very end, I'll just give you a quick quote as we sum everything up. But it's nothing like that at all. And so when we just look at a few reasons why people react the way they do, one could be a family thing. One example that I've given in other classes is if you have a mentally challenged child, or let's say a brother or a sister was mentally challenged, and it's in your life every day. You're trying to get this person, and they could be even 25 years old, but they're just like they're 8, sort of thing. And then somebody comes in, and they say that the traffic was so crazy. My God, they stop and go. It was retarded. So a comment like that for some people would be no big deal. Yeah, the traffic is crazy. But to one person that a nerve is touched, that word might not be appropriate for them. And that's why their reaction is different. So when we look at what why people go off on the deep end, as they called it, it's usually because there's something in their past that is not addressed, that is being touched, and it hurts. And they react. They jump up. They just say, oh, no, that's not the way to say those. It's politically incorrect, or not correct, or politically inappropriate. There was once upon a time, it was perfectly fine to call a policeman, but now we have to do constable or officer, because policeman might not be right. And even the latest thing with pronouns and everything. I don't want to get into a lot of the ideologies, but there are things that are happening in society that's becoming touch points and hurt points in other people. And it's not that you have to adjust whatever you're doing. It's just that just be aware that those things are going on. That is all. It doesn't mean you have to edit everything you do, because you have to do something. Some way, somehow, things are going to be going in that direction. Another one is, let's say, a past situation. Let's say, for instance, you have a mother and a grandmother in the same household, and a grandfather, let's say, and everyone's telling this child to always clean everything, clean your room, clean up after yourself in the kitchen, clean the washroom, clean the floors. And it's almost like a Cinderella scenario type of thing, right? And then after a while, no matter what they do, it's not clean enough, and they're always being forced. And so if you fast forward, let's say 20, 30 years or so, this person may not like to clean for obvious reasons. And then when someone says, we should do something with the backyard, we need to clean it up. That word, clean, it's like, I just hate that word. And it's just a word, clean. How could you say clean wrong? But to some people, clean is a bad word. It is. So it's that type of thing. The other thing is penalties. Another thing that creates a reaction from people is, let's say you have a father that is very punctual. They'll actually get to the appointment 15 minutes early, wait in the car for 14 and a half minutes, then walk in the door exactly when it says 4 o'clock. You're people like that. And if you come in late, you're 2 minutes. What's going on? There's a reaction. And if you look back at that person's childhood, where did that punctuality come in? Because we weren't born that way. That we know. Because as kids, who cares what time it is, right? As kids. So somewhere in there, we were taught to basically be on time, or boy, are you in trouble. So when punctuality comes into play, this is where that reaction again would be like that. And there's many examples like this. We're just touching on a few of the top ones. Another one is stereotypes, like when someone says, oh, I have a woman driver. I heard that about 3 weeks ago. And, I just snicker because, wow, that's an old one, right? But there are still people that go ballistic over that. Oh, women are good drivers. Actually, they are really good drivers. They're sometimes better than men. But that's beside the point. But the point is, when you stereotype, other people will react in such a hostile way because, again, you've touched a nerve. Maybe in their childhood, something happened that everybody was saying, women are this, women are that, women are whatever it is, and they just got tired of it. And now, being older, they can address it rather than address other people, because you'd be doing that for the rest of your life. Does that sound right? I mean, if you are not doing the inner work on just softening that hurt, and if you try to correct every single person that is touching your points, you'd be doing that for the rest of your life. So it's not the most optimal way to run your energy, is by correcting people, by reacting to people. So then the next question is, well, Tony, okay, fine. How do I react? How do I sort of hold my tongue or bite my tongue? How do I just hold back? And see, there's a flaw in that question, because by holding back, it still means something is pushing you. It still means that something is touching your point. And now your strength has to be, let's hold all this back. And that's not the point. The point is, the best way to not hold anything back is not hold anything back. You should be able to be so free that it doesn't bother you anymore. Now, from a cognitive sense, you might say, yeah, that's a little inappropriate by saying the word, let's say, retarded, or saying the word native instead of indigenous. All these things are like that, but it doesn't hit you in an emotional, hurtful way anymore. And that's inner work. That's all about inner work. So that changes the reaction, right? So this is what it's all about. It's about looking at the emotional labels of your past and trying to find out, where am I reacting in such a way? And it's not like creating scenarios where if somebody says this word, or if someone says that word, because there's so many words right now that, even the word God, even the word dad, even the word mother, you would think that these are pretty safe words, and it isn't. There are people that had a very, very difficult religious background, childhood, and they just don't want anything to do with religion. And some absolutely do, and that's okay either way. But just the word dad, in my mind, I had a great dad. He celebrated me. I had a great mom, and she celebrated me. But that doesn't apply to everyone, because some people's mother or their father or their grandfather, they don't even want to see them even after they pass. And I'm serious about that, because when they come in for a reading and I say, well, grandpa's here, I don't want to talk to him. Tell him to go back. Go back to where you came from. Well, he's in heaven, but okay. So, but he's not going away because he still wants to talk to you. I don't want to talk to him. You see, I mean, when you just use words, words have power to the individual. It is not a blank slate. There are very, very few words that are safe. Even babies. If you say the word baby to some people, oh yeah, those rugrats. It's not even safe to say the even beautiful words. So where does that come into play? So this is all a signal to us that most of this work has to be internal, and we have to start with us first, okay? You got to also realize that anything from the past, we already know you can't change it. I mean, we hear that a lot, of course. Can't change your past. I get it. However, you'd be surprised that people sure want to. Boy, if I had the opportunity to be 5 again and I had to relive my life, I would change this, whatever that event was. You would change it. And in doing that, it sort of sets you up, because you're thinking that by changing the past, that would be the solution. And it isn't. Changing the past isn't the solution. The solution is whatever that is bothering you has a solution built into the problem. Okay? Because these are just memories. And I'm not sort of discounting, I'm not saying just memories. It's not real. It is real from an emotional perspective. Absolutely. When someone says something that really hits home, it's real for you. But it isn't real in the sense that you could put your hands on it. It's not tangible. And it's not something that other people will understand what you're saying unless they were in the same family or witnessed whatever happened. And they could say, yeah, that was a really difficult time when such and such did this thing. And they could account for your distraught, and they could account for the trauma. But when there's nobody there, they have no idea what you've been through. So that same word or that incident or that phrase or the smell or the vision or whatever it is, it's only in you. So the question is, how do we get it so that it's softer? So that when somebody refers to it, it doesn't say, okay, that's it. Okay, now you did it. You opened up the Pandora's box. And when we do that, it's like, why don't we address that box? Let's open it ourselves, not in public, but in private. And really look into it as, why is this bothering us? When we were born, this word or incident didn't bother us, but now it is. And it's all understandable why, and we're not asking the why questions, okay? We're asking. Okay, that goes on for another 45 minutes or so on the YouTube channel, if you want to watch the rest of it. But it really delves into the inner work. So when somebody starts saying something, you will remember, but it won't be such an emotional hit all the time. You'll be able to, rather than control yourself, you'll understand it and you'll let it just go by. It's like just watching a bus go by. And it's much like that. So we don't want people to spend so much time is biting their tongue, biding their time, and the other things. We want to make it so that it doesn't always hit a nerve, because what happens is it's just like laundry. One thing goes on to something else, and it starts accumulating. And eventually, no matter what anybody says, it bothers you. And that's the point, is you want to keep yourself light, nimble. You want to keep yourself, in a point where people don't have to, check their P's and Q's all the time. And you're gracious. And when people find out that, oh my God, I don't believe this, I said this, but you never said anything. And that requires incredible character to be able to let someone else say something that, when they find out after, oh, I didn't realize that your son died, and I was going on and on about my son and how fantastic it was. And it didn't do anything. Right. And, but some people would be very adamant, very vocal about it. It's not that it's not justified, but there is inner work to be able to curb that reaction. I hope this was helpful, and hope you can use it in some way. Okay. Thanks, guys. You're on mute there, Bernie, I think. Or you're...
Sorry. Thank you, Tony.
Oh, there
Sorry.
you go. Yep.
Yeah, appreciate that. So, folks, just motor us along here. So, inside Phoenix, what are we looking for? Well, travel agent, appraiser, event planner, life insurance for this group, house cleaner, gift basket company, photographer, sign maker, swag and promotional production company, goods for men's and women's clothing apparel, plumber and mobile hairdresser. Can you tell we're coming up to the season, right? Most of those things are things we're going to need. So, any of those come to mind. Anything that'll help supply the I apologize for saying it, the Christmas cheer. I know it's a little ahead. It's premature. I know. But just, send that information in. And what else to share with you? Oh, hang on. Don't want to share that because that's the same story. We're also on YouTube. So I'm going to share that. And here's the link for that element. Now, I'm going to share a screen with you. But wait, there's more. There's always more. Share the screen. Patience. And you should be seeing a screen right now. And so events that are happening. So Bell's Corners, we're here. Moving to Hill, 10:30 to 11:15. Dave's Monday. Dave was feeling kind of poorly last week, so he probably doesn't have anything happening today. But next week, Dave's available. And if you want to book a BAM and have a wee bit of a nibble. K9 charity events happening today from 1 to 3. Hopefully you registered last week. And basically, you'll get to see if I can get the little puppy dog in there. I guess I'll just have to click on it. Anyhow, if you have a sausage dog that you need to doll up, there you go. That's the spiel. All right. Too cute to waste that photo, especially on a Halloween moment. Hey, it's Halloween tomorrow. If you don't know anything about that, candy purchases, get all the chocolate you want to eat later on and gain weight. And later on, you'll have to follow up with one of our other colleagues to help you lose the weight, like Penny Lee at 7 to 8 on Wednesday evening. East End groups meeting, same time, same channel. On Wednesday, South End groups, same time, same channel, but Thursday, Penny Lee again, 10 to 11, tuning in with Tony from 1:30 to 2:30, moving to Hill class 1 to 2 on Saturday. And Jacqueline, she's got that chair yoga thing down pat, and she's showing up Sunday. And do we have anything else on the go? November 7th, we do have the After Hours group meeting then in the evening, 7 to 8, first Tuesday. You're all welcome to show up in there. And Tony says that we are going to be having our Christmas party on December 9th at the Windsor Park Rivera. So kind of put that down and say it's late afternoon, 3 to 5 p.m. And yeah, Tony, you want to add anything to that information?
Yeah, we chose that particular day because as soon as we mentioned the December 2nd, there was about 3 or 4 people that said, oh, I got something going on that Saturday. And so we wanted as many people to come as possible. So we looked at for the 9th and it was wide open. It was better for the booking too. So it's on the 9th. That's the day that we're going to be drawing the Phoenix incentive. You know what we've been carrying? We've got over 1,200 ballots in that box. for the trip, for the computer, and the free Wi-Fi for 6 months. We're going to be drawing that on that day, so you don't have to be there, but it would be nice to see you. And please bring your wives or girlfriends, not at the same time. We want to make it so it's a nice friendly visit. So yes, so bring your wives, and we'll have food there. We're asking $10 a person just to sort of beef up the food a little bit. And on the home in that link on December 9th, if you click that will give you the link to be able to put your $10 in, or if you can send me an e-transfer or whatever. And so $20 for a couple. That should be pretty fair, and we're going to have some really good food there. So it's from 3 to 5. It's sort of late afternoon. Hopefully, most of the stuff you can do in the morning, and so it'll be a great last get together for the year. So,
Tony, thank you. Sorry about the screen changes there. I realized I was still sharing, and then you saying other stuff. Oh, at least it was good stuff. Okay, referrals year to date 434. BAM's 430. BAM is a business activity meeting. So referrals are people that we say, hey, let me introduce you to somebody, whether it's to help support your work or they're a customer. That's a referral. BAM is where we get to know each other. One-on-one conversation, one-to-many conversation. Amount of business done between members year to date, $288.7 thousand worth of business year to date. That's pretty good. The e-cards, 10,318 hits. Now, Tony's added another feature where in the QR code, you can spin it up and you can run through a directory. You'll see that on your e-card, and you can drill into that part, and then you can share your contact details or other members' contact details with folks at large. And we're at the end of the month, so get ready to get your stats over to Tony. So, when November 1 hits, fire the data over to Tony. And now we're doing hey, what's been happening in my life from a business perspective? And we'll start off with Mike.
Great. Thank you, Bernie. By the way, Bernie, you ran a great meeting today. It must be the snow. Tony, great session. Really interesting stuff. And because I won one of the sessions off of your weekly draw prizes, I know what my word is that makes me freak out, and it's Tony. So we'll have to go through that and get that out of my mind. Didn't do any BAMs this week, but one thing that I did do was I listened to a lot of, since Carl had a really, really good presentation last week, I listened to a lot of his podcasts, and wow, professional. I mean, from all the way from the intro to the sessions to the guests to the completion or what have you. Really enjoyed a bunch of them, and my favorite so far is the storyteller, about the storytelling. And so that's what I did this week.
Mike, thank you so much. And we'll swing over to Eric, because he's closest to the camera.
I was just writing something.
That's okay. Sorry, I had to pick somebody. That was it. That was my cue. You're it.
Yeah,
Tony, great session. I know the power of words. I know it from professionally speaking, and I know it from what I do on on the football pitch. Okay, so I can say 2 or 3 words to somebody and have a berserk happening going, and it could be 2 or 3 words that mean nothing, right? So I know the power of words. It's little arrows sometimes you can throw people that mean nothing to somebody and a lot to other people. But professionally, I use that to deal with CRA all the time, because I have been inside government, so I know how what is important to them before I talk to them, and I can fit that language, and I can disarm them before they get the ammunition out to shoot at a client. So I know the power of words. This week I'm working on a couple of year ends for current and former Phoenix members, and We're training a new employee sometimes in the next week or two. So that's happening here too. It's not that we're getting rid of anybody. It's we have a part-time employee and we're going to put another person to fill the time that other employee is not doing. So that's what the interviews are about. And otherwise, have fun. I'm getting ready for my trip to Mexico on November 24th. There you go.
Kirk, thank you so much. And we're going to do Dwight, Shane, and Josh. Dwight, over to you, sir.
Thanks, Bernie, and thanks, Tony, for your presentation. I said last week we had the Phoenix business meeting we catered. This week coming up, we'll be doing another catering for Tanya's group. And the following week, I have a long client in which we will be doing a catering again for another 20 or 30 party members. So it's going to be fairly busy for the next little while. And for this month and next month, we should be pretty happy. And I guess Erica, my wife and I probably would like to come to Mexico with you just to get rid of this white stuff.
How big's your suitcase?
Yeah, away from that, that's it for the week. Thanks.
Dwight, thank you so much. Shane, if you're available, sir.
Great job, Tony. So I would just say the interesting talk about that, and it was the last one about the word that you got to be careful about. I always have the trouble with the people when there's a passing or something like that, and what to say to these people as a comfort thing. Some people are celebrating life. Some people are kind of grieving. It's a very complicated thing when you're even writing in cards. Like, well, what are you supposed to say? What's have a neutral ground and make them feel better about the situation they're going through. So, thinking about those words and having a heads up and being courteous at the same time being thoughtful can something be that needs to be addressed, obviously. So thanks about that. And by the way, my safe word is not Tony. It's not that, but some scary words for my kids definitely is cleanup. So I appreciate those type of things as well. So done some business with Eric. He likes to dabble in the most difficult cases. That's me. So thank you, Eric, for your patience with my family and doing that and going forward. And I actually saw an MMA fight on this weekend with one of my patients was involved in his first MMA fight in Shaw Center. So it's quite interesting. So if you have any of those athletes that need to see us for those aches and pains, MMA, kickboxing, whatever, we do that as well. So take care, guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. All right. Bye, guys.
What are you saying, Shane? Every time we go visit a fight gym, we should drop off your flyers to say we will fix what you break?
Yeah, make sure you drop off a couple. They tend to rip things. They're angry people.
Oh,
yeah, and the people all in the front row in case somebody falls on them.
Absolutely. Thanks, Shane. Josh, over to you, sir.
Hey, folks. I think you can hear me. The phone app is I don't get along super well with it. I don't think you can see me. Can you?
Yeah. Nope.
No. So some of us can and some of us can't. All right, whatever. Let's not waste time on that. Great presentation, Tony. Thank you for that. It's been a very busy week, good week. First snow of the year means that our summer student is a winter student now and dealing with the roads and all that entails. So he called in today and said, I can't come because of the road condition. But everybody, hopefully you're staying warm. Been working on a project for Tony there, and it's going well. I think that we'll probably be done this week. Maybe we'll share. Yeah, woohoo! We'll share a little bit more about that next week, hopefully. And everybody stay warm and take care and have a great week.
Josh, thank you very much. And the next person we're going to swing over to is my random finger, Alex. Over to you, sir.
Hi. Tony, that was really good presentation. I enjoyed that. Thank you. Lots of food for thought there. So last week, I went to the Social Phoenix meeting at Engel Volkers, which was really good. So thanks to Eric for that. And also enjoyed some of Dwight and Nicole's delicious food. So thank you for that opportunity to taste your lovely food. I went to the Quest for Net Zero event in Ottawa last week. Working with Mike, references EV charging solution for the condo there. And what else? We're getting a new inside support. Well, new inside support for the business because we're expanding. We're needing a lot more sort of admin help, which is a good thing. So similar to Eric, doing a bit of training this week for that person, and planning on doing a BAM with Guy from Platinum Renovations. Still haven't done that yet, so going to do that. Thank you,
Alex. Thank you so much. Jacqueline, over to you.
What a groovy, powerful moment between Tony and Mike. Wow. I took that long, deep breath as I am considering how quickly I have to put together my home buyer presentations that's coming up at the end of November. So I've had 2 people have said, yes, I absolutely want to participate with you. Hopefully they become Phoenix members. And I am very looking forward to the rest of the week, with or without the white stuff on the streets.
I hear you, Jacqueline. I hear you. I feel your pain. As I drive from my office back over to the other part of the house. Sam, over to you.
Thank you, Bernie. First of all, Tony, thank you for your presentation. You reminded me right away of saying the same thing to my wife at 2 different times during the month, and they can be different reactions come for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I mean, 35 years and I'm still getting it. I think some of the other guys can relate to that. Anyway, besides that, first of all, Tanya was here last week. She was heading to Toronto and wanted an oil change right away, so I managed to fit her in, and she got the oil change done, and I believe she headed off to Toronto successfully. Besides that, let's see, Joyce Owen, former member, I believe, of this chapter. She gave me a referral for car detailing, which I did on Saturday. And where is it? My friend Alex. I had 2 customers on Saturday. One was a wiper motor and assembly replacement, and the car cleaning, and they both received a copy of your pamphlet. So in case they have any EV aspirations down the road. That's it. Oh, I did want to mention one thing. Eric, if you're heading to Acapulco, you might want to change your mind.
It's not Acapulco.
Yeah, it's not there. That's quite the
Sam, the travel agent.
Yep.
Susan, over to you. Susan, over to you, man.
Need a travel agent.
Darn, that's where I was going to go. Tony, thank you so much for a very inspiring talk. And there's a few words there that are very triggering. And then definitely the being there on time. My dad was Air Force and I'm ex-Navy Reserve. And so you better be there on time or else. Very disrespectful not to be there. That was drilled into me from a young girl. Tony and I had another session last week, Friday, and I've got a lot of homework to do. So it's great, Tony. I thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. I won that from the last draw. Looking forward to talking to Dwight this week. You have your homework to do on doing your product checklist. Maybe we can set up something this week. And let's see, ongoing business with Wendy Chung and Penny Lee. So looking forward to a great week, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Susan, thank you so much. Tony, what's been going on in your week last week? What's in your wallet?
Yeah, it's been a pretty busy week, actually. Went through quite a few things. I noticed that there was a couple of people that are still looking at the QR directory, and we've now put it on the home base. You know all those red buttons that we have on the base? One of them is a direct link to the QR directory. So that way you could find it so quickly. It's going to speed things up. Did some business. I'm still doing business with Josh and Eric Senego. You're doing some work for us for Phoenix, and I did some work for Shane. It featured in a magazine, and I had a hard time getting the copy of the magazine onto his e-card. And so after a couple of days, I figured how to do it. We were going to make a video, so it's on his e-card. So when something like that happens, you have something new, you got an award or something has changed in your perspective, let us know, and we'd like to put that in the e-card to give you credibility, to give you sort of community involvement or whatever it is. We can always try and work it. Because we have the best e-card going. I've never seen anyone's e-card like ours, and I check everybody's e-card, and most of them are lame. Is the only word I can think of. So we want to be the best, and that's how we compare ourselves. We're always making ourselves better and outdoing ourselves. Other than that, I had a good week, and back to you, Bernie.
Tony, thank you so much. Great presentation, Tony. And you know what? Powers of words, they do matter, because sometimes you internalize it and then you jam yourself up. That's why community is an ideal thing. Hey, this is a community, right? So from a business perspective, that can help. Or you can find people to partner with and work with. Or you get on the training side, or, what's that? Drop your shoulders, heavy breath in, faint. No, don't faint. Don't faint. That's right. Sorry. What else has been happening? It was a busy week last week, only for the fact I was taking meds to get off of my COVID cycle. So, hey, I can relate to what Greg was going through. Wonderful week. It was wonderful. Sleep was my next best buddy. So not many BAMs. What else to relate? Oh, yes. If you have events that are coming up that are either ongoing, that are not posted for December or into the new year, send me an email. So email, please. Date, time, any artwork, any of the stuff, so it makes it easy to post it. I will post it. All right, so that's a quick heads up. And I'm going to wrap us up for a quote for the day. Not having the best situation, but seeing the best in your situation is the key to happiness. Marie